Hello everyone, my name is Tara and welcome to Aligning to Love. In this channel I aim to spread hope, joy, peace, and love to the world by sharing goodness and love within my life. In this video I wanted to share my personal and family life updates and events and the signs that I saw along the way. In the previous videos I've been uploading, I've been trying to catch up on my family updates and events from the months of August through October. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing my updates from the month of November. Right now, it is January 11th, 2026, and it was my goal to try to be finished with all my updates from 2025 before the new year. I was really proud of myself, even though I didn't make the goal, because I was able to update all the months of August, September, and October in a span of 2 weeks when I wasn't even able to get a lot of videos up weekly in those 4 to 5 months from August to December. And so even though I was disappointing that I didn't get my goal, I'm still moving forward and trying to accomplish that task, even though it's a little bit later. And so we were all hoping that the new year would bring hope and joy to our country and around the world. And it's just been, again, so devastating with everything that's been happening. And in my channel, I do like to focus on the things in my life that are full of love and full of joy. But I do want to talk about some things that have happened in the new year because it's weird. It's like clockwork that exactly a year from now, last January, I was feeling really hopeless and defeated with what was going on in our world and in our country. And that's one of the reasons why I started this channel, is because I needed to talk about things that I was seeing on a daily basis in my life that was good, so that I didn't feel so hopeless at the end of each day. And that's why I'm going to be talking about some of the events that have been so disgusting and so horrible that has taken place. And so right from the new year, with the leader, I feel he's barbaric. With the barbaric leader we had the invasion and the attack and the bombing of Venezuela. And that is just awful. If you've seen my other videos, I have been an elementary education professional since I graduated college. And for 5 years of that time span, I was a kindergarten teacher. And then also I did teach years of first grade and second grade. But no matter what grade level I'm talking about, there is a book and a lot of quotes that say everything you need to learn, you learn in kindergarten. And I truly believe that with all my heart. The most basic things of being a good person in life, you do. I feel like you learn when you're under 5, from 0 to 5. And it's just so, I feel it's ridiculous what we deal with our leadership in this country. And it's horrible. And it's like, with 5-year-olds, when you're teaching preschool or kindergarten, you don't take things from other people that don't belong to you. You don't hurt other people. It's that simple. And millions of adults don't understand those concepts. And being a good person is so simple. But the thing that makes being a good person that's so hard is when other people aren't choosing to be good, and you're having to make choices to either go with the crowd or be the one that stands up and does the right thing. And that's what character is all about. And that's what we teach our kids. And it's just so disappointing that the kids and the younger generations are not being able to see role models doing this. And I know that there's millions of people that are role models that do show the next generations what it means to value human life and what it means to stand up for humanity and for others. But it's really defeating that all of the good and all of the love that does happen in the world is not what is broadcasted on mainstream media. It's all about fear and killing and hate. And that is just such a disservice to everybody in the world. And so that was heartbreaking, the Venezuela attack right after New Year's. And it reminded me again, not only of what we see with the government acting like 2-year-olds, but it reminded me of one of my favorite Christmas songs of Stevie Wonder singing Someday at Christmas. There's a line in there, and it's literally not even a week after Christmas. And Stevie Wonder's line that I love is, "Someday at Christmas, men won't be boys, playing with bombs like kids play with toys." And that's literally what we saw happen right after New Year's. It's just so pitiful. So that is very disappointing, and I just feel for all the lives that it affected in Venezuela. And then we have the other horrible tragedies happening with all the abductions, the kidnappings of immigrants and even just U.S. citizens, and just the despicable and disgusting treatment that's happening illegally and unjustly. And now we have the big event that was the killing of Renee Nicole Good, I believe is her name. And she was somebody that was standing up for what was right and what was just and what was good, and she got killed. And it's heart-wrenching because she was 37 years old. That's exactly how old I am. And she had 3 children and a partner. And she was someone that brought light and love into this world. And she and everyone else who has ever been lost needs to be remembered for that. And so I am just so devastated for these events that happened right after the new year. And it's again why I need to do this channel, because I need to keep reminding myself that there are good things that happen in my life. There are good things that happen all over the world. And I really do encourage everyone else to start, if you can't do anything like going to protests, or if you can't do anything to stand up for what's going on, because I know it's hard when you're working full-time or you have families, at least we can try to share all of the love that we see on a daily basis, so that everyone knows it's not just hate filling the world. It's not just killing, taking up all of our vision. And we are more than what the leaders do. And I have to keep remembering that. And so that is why I have been sharing my family life updates and events, so that I hope it can bring some happiness and some joy to people if they are feeling defeated. And so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go back to November 2025 and talk about the first week of that. So on the very first day of November, my mom had called me up, and she wanted to know if I wanted to take my daughter Juniper to a rugby game. Her friend was coaching it, and it was at the Middlebury College. And it was a chilly day, but we wanted to go, and I got my daughter all bundled up, took her stroller, and we met my mom there and her Nana there. And it was really fun to be able to watch the game, and my daughter was getting really into it. Whenever the crowd would cheer, she would like to cheer as well, and it was really fun. And it made it even better that they won. Our team, the Middlebury College students, won that game, which was excellent. And then at the end of October and into the beginning of November, my brother had been traveling to see his friend in Minnesota. And actually, it was Minneapolis. And that was really stressful for me and my family. We know that he's independent and he travels a lot. And so, in that regard, he's an expert with being able to make flights and get where he needs to be. But again, everything that's been going on with this country that's unjust to people who don't look a certain way, it was it was terrifying, because you always have fear about things going smoothly for people who are traveling that could get pulled aside. And so I'm happy to say that everything went well. He got to have a really nice time with his best friend over there, and then he had to fly back. His flight did get delayed on the way home, but he made it back, and then he had to travel to Maine because he went to a wedding. And so he was very busy, and we were just all happy when all of his traveling was completed and he had a great time, and then he was home safely. So that was a big part of the ending of October events into the beginning of November. The beginning of November, between the 2nd and the 3rd, my husband had been getting really into artwork and doing drawing and sketching. He was also doing a lot of trying to make healthier habits with moving more and also eating less sweets. And I had been really proud of him. He had been doing a much better job at it than I had been at the time. And at his work, they had been giving all these donuts on the table, and he would text me and say, "I didn't take the donut." And I was so proud of him. In the beginning of November, another thing that was interesting is that I was getting so many stories, or seeing so many people, or having dreams of twins. It was so bizarre. And whether it was friends of mine that I had talked to who had been a twin, or is a twin, they still have their sibling, or parents that I know that have twins that I ran into. I had a dream that I also had twins as well, and it was just so bizarre. And I had also been talking to family members, and one of their children had twins. And everywhere I went, when I went to the grocery store, I saw a mom pushing twins in her stroller. It was just like everywhere I looked, I was seeing twins. And I have no idea if that had any significance to that time of the year, or symbolic meaning for that week. I have no idea. I never found a connection, but it was very odd that that's what I was seeing so much. And then November 3rd was really fun, because that was the first time that my husband and I took my daughter to the Middlebury Library. It had been under construction for a long time, but they moved the library into a section of the Middlebury the National Bank of Middlebury, and it's awesome. We were so excited. And when I went to the Middlebury Library when I was a kid, they had this tub, and they had it filled with stuffed animals and pillows, and it was so heartwarming to see that they still had this tub and my daughter could go in it. And it's been really interesting that they put it in the National Bank of Middlebury, but it's worked out really nicely. Whenever I've had to go print off papers, I always go to the library. I print the papers off, and one of the times I didn't have any cash with me, and I could just go across and get the ATM and get some money, and it was right in the same building. So that was really handy to have. And it's been so nice for the National Bank of Middlebury to house the library while it's under construction. And so I'm just so grateful that the bank did that for the library, and that the library can still thrive and have people checking out books and other resources during all of the construction. And that it's really special for me too, because not only am I someone who's always loved to listen to books and just stories, but my dad was also somebody who worked at the National Bank of Middlebury when I was growing up. So there's two parts of it that hold really special places in my heart for that. At the library, my husband had been starting to check out graphic novels. He had been really interested in reading more of those, and he just started flying through books. And some of the first graphic novels he read, which we read together after he finished, was the Lightfall series and then the Amulet series. He's been through so many books in that. I've been wanting to catch up on that with him. But for our daughter, we've been checking out so many books. We love the Bruce books by Ryan T. Higgins, and we also love the Julia House books by, what is that author's name? Ben Hatke. And so it's just been wonderful. We've been going to the library all of the months of November, December, and January, checking out books and having our daughter exposed to all of the genres and the toys and the activities in the library. And so that has been a massive highlight of the fall and the winter for us and for my daughter. And so it's so funny, because when I was a child, it was really hard for me to read. I didn't become a confident or skilled reader until 4th grade. And I feel like that's because when I was adopted, I was speaking Hindu, and so English was a second language for me. So I really had difficulty reading. I really did not like reading at all. And it wasn't until 4th grade when my 4th grade teacher started reading all of these wonderful books, and I loved the stories, and it just motivated me to want to be able to be a reader. And my husband was a similar way to that. He never really enjoyed reading as a kid, but now he's flying through books, and I'm just so happy that both my husband and I have a love of books, and that we're sharing that with our daughter. And then so for the going on to the fourth day of November, I went to go get my COVID and my flu shot at our local Hannaford's. And again, right after I did that with my daughter, I ran into a neighbor of mine where I grew up, and she was a twin. And it was really nice to see her, because I don't think I've seen her since, I don't know, 10 years. It's maybe more, 12 or 13 years. And it was nice to catch up with her, see how she was doing and how her family was doing. And she said that she had just moved back to the area with her sister as well. And so it was nice to have that conversation, because I had been transitioning and getting used to being back in the area also. So it was nice to have that connection with her. On the 5th of November, my husband and I were so happy when Mamdani got elected as mayor of New York City. That was a really big highlight moment for us. It gave us a lot of hope that somebody that was so inspiring and had so much faith and hope and could bring so much inspiration to a large population of people, not only the people in New York, but just his speaking abilities gave hope to many other people. And we were just so thrilled when that event happened. And I am just so excited to see what unfolds for him and for the future with that. And sorry, I'm just looking down at my notes because it's been so long since November that I just wanted to make sure I was remembering what was happening at that time in my life. Oh, in the beginning of November, I was also calling a lot of my relatives, because a lot of my relatives send Christmas cards, and I also send Christmas cards to my friends and my family in many locations. And I wanted to make sure that I had my relatives and friends' addresses if they moved or if they'd updated, and I wanted to make sure they had mine. And it was just really nice. I got to have so many catch-ups with friends and family on both sides, my mom's side of the family and my dad's side of the family. And it had been a really long time since I was able to truly have a genuine conversation and really hear the day-to-day or week-to-week life of what was happening with each of them. So I was really grateful for that. It really made me feel connected to them more so than the average day. And I mean, I do my best to stay connected with people, but most of the time it's through texting because I like to be present with my daughter, and I have been the stay-at-home parent taking care of my daughter and going to all of the activities and events for her, and just doing the basic household things of laundry and chores and making sure she's fed. And so I don't always have time to be to make time to catch up with others, because I always feel like it's important to be present with the people you're with currently. And so she's my number one priority. And during that time, I did have moments where she was either sleeping or my husband was around so that he could take care of her while I did the phone calls, or while I did something that I could do to either put him first or myself first while she was still being taken care of. And so it was really nice to have those connections just strengthened during that time. I also got to have a lot of walks with my daughter and my husband. It was getting chillier out, so we had to bundle up more. We had to bring blankets. I was taking my daughter to a tot time at the rec center, which is a place where she's able to go in the gym and play with little tricycles and cars on the gymnasium floor. And the person who runs it is a past babysitter of mine, which is really special for me to have her be in charge of the tot time with my own daughter. And I love it. It's been really nice to have these really special moments and intimate moments with people from my childhood that I'm getting to rekindle with my own daughter. On the 5th of November, actually no, I'm on the 6th of November, I was able to get a nice haircut and a color. I was really excited because I hadn't had one in a while, and we were going to be getting our pictures done for our Christmas pictures on November 8th. And so I just love being able to treat myself to a haircut and color and just feel and look my best, especially for Christmas pictures. We don't always do professional photos, but for the Christmas pictures, we go to a photographer who had been our newborn photographer for our daughter when she was just born, and we were gifted that. And so we wouldn't never have known her without that gift of having her do our newborn pictures. And actually, in the video that I'm going to put up next, I talk more about that. And Christmas is a really special time for me. It's always been one of my favorite holidays, and just with all the love and the joy. And I think, Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays, not because of the historical aspect. The historical aspect of Thanksgiving is actually one reason why I don't like the holiday so much, but the reason I do like Thanksgiving is because there's no gifts involved. It's just getting together with your friends and your family and all your loved ones, having a meal and being thankful for everything you have in life. That's the reason I like Thanksgiving. And the reason I like Christmas is because on top of Thanksgiving with being grateful, I like Christmas because I feel like there's more generosity at Christmas. There's more spirit of kindness throughout the air during that month. And I think it's so interesting that after Thanksgiving of being appreciative and grateful, then you have Black Friday, and then it seems like people are just so it just turns the whole idea of being thankful around the day after, which I don't like, and I wish it didn't happen. And so with Christmas, I don't feel like there's a quick turnaround of, oh, now it's over and I'm going to be, I don't know, greedy and not greed. I know that Black Friday is not always something about greed, because people who are struggling financially, and I've been in that boat a lot, that the deals are there and it's financially effective to get those deals. But I do like Christmas because the whole month of Christmas, I just feel jolly. I feel excited. And most of the time it's because I've been working with kids. But even when I don't work with kids, I've always felt like a big kid myself, and I've always felt that extra magic in the air. And so I just really love Christmas, and that's one of the reasons why I really was excited to have Christmas pictures done, especially when we decided to start our family and have a baby of our own. And I don't know if we'll continue that tradition of doing Christmas pictures, but while it lasts, it's something that really makes me happy, and I love looking back at our memories. And so getting a haircut for those pictures was just something I was really looking forward to on that day. On the 6th, it was really special because I also had a dream that was very bizarre. It was very funny because there was an actor in my dream who was, it was actually really interesting. It was about dark and light, and it was really spiritual. But for some reason, I was on Navy ships. A lot of population was on Navy ships, and it was all about things that were happening in the world that were horrendous, and we were trying to survive. And for some reason, this actor was, and I'm not going to name the actor, but it was a popular actor, and he was actually someone that was not doing good things and trying to convince people not to do good things. And the whole time I was getting guided by my spirit guide in the dream. Like, I could hear it in my head, and it was helping me throughout the dream. And then there was a moment in the dream where I could, instead of hearing it, I got to visually see who my spirit helper was, and I could see his eyes, and I just remember the dream feeling seen in the most impactful and the most meaningful way. And I was so excited, and it really felt like real life, like I was actually getting to see whether it was a guardian angel or my spirit guide. And I just remember being so excited in the dream. And even though what was happening in the dream was a little scary, I just remember waking up and being almost sad that, like, I didn't have that ability to see my spirit guide. And it was a really powerful dream, even though it was like really, it was jagged, like it was hard to follow once I woke up. But I just remember it being such an intricate dream on the 6th. I was also really happy on the 6th because my daughter had been having a lot of dry scalp and a lot of flakes that were really hard to get off of her hair and her head. And I had given her a bath that day, and I had used a different product that had worked really well. And I just remember all of these flakes that were bothering her and were making her itch were coming out. And I was just so happy that it was working, because I had tried different things to get these flakes and these dry spots off of her scalp and off of her head, and for a long time, and it hadn't been as effective. And I just remember on the 6th that she was so happy, I was so happy, and it just made me happy that I could be successful in making her feel more comfortable. And so, on the 6th, I was really excited because when my husband and I were putting my daughter to bed, we were able to teach her to be able to smile when she heard the word smile, and she would show her teeth. And we were getting really excited because we were having pictures coming up, and we were hoping that when the photographer would say smile, that she'd be able to do it this year. And so those were some things that we were really excited about happening in the first week of November. And I think I'm going to end the video here. And the next video I recorded back on November 11th. And I remember really wanting to get it out on November 11th because it would have been 11/11, the 11th month on the 11th day. And it's actually really funny. I wasn't able to get it out then because I was having technical difficulties. And then doing the video now, I didn't even realize that today is January 11th, which is 111. And for those angel numbers, 111 and 1111, it's all about manifesting and co-creating the life that you want, and focusing in on the elements that you want to continue to have in your life. And it does take a lot of intention to do that, and a lot of motivation and dedication. So I just thought that both that video on November 11th and the video now, I'm happy that it's on those days, which it's getting a video out for me has been really challenging. I've been trying to be consistent, but life always just, I haven't been able to catch up and stay caught up with life. And so that's okay, but I'm happy I'm getting these videos out. So I hope, even with all of the events that have been happening in the new year, I do hope that friends and family and anyone watching these videos who may have come across my channel do find some solace and some peace and some happiness within their day-to-day routines, whether it's just sipping a hot cup of coffee or tea, or having quiet moments to read, or just really just be thankful for the warmth of a house, if you have it, or the cozy bed, or anything simple that many people throughout the world may not have. I know I think about those things on a day-to-day basis, and I am just so happy to be able to have those things, because they really are privileges. And to continue to be thankful and appreciative of those things, I really do feel like they make your life more abundant when you realize how much we really do have, even in the midst of chaos and turbulence. So I hope everyone is taking care as best they can, and I love you all. Bye. I'll see you in the next video.